Hello everyone, it's Tana and welcome back to the channel and another video for the Not Too Shabby shop. So Not Too Shabby has a new release out, 4 new stamp sets, and I have the names for them up above for you. Some really cool stamps to work with, and I have to say though, my favorite is the critter costume party. I just love little critters dressed up in Halloween costumes. So that's the one we're going to be working with today. And I'm going to stamp out these critters here using the Ulta New Crisp Dye ink, the black ink that you can use with Copic markers. And I'm fairly sure that Jamie sells that one in her shop. I think it looks a little different though. It's the same name, but it looks a little different. So I colored them all, and I'm just going to show you really quick how I colored up this cute little bunny dressed as a ghost. And I am baking in my car right now. It's daytime. Usually I do the voiceovers hiding in the car during the night. But I was trying to get this moving because I'm going to have several videos for you this month with this release. And I ran the car for 10 minutes with the AC on, and it's already hot in here. But I'm not going to complain because I've been waiting for this weather forever. And it already seems like pretty soon it's going to be gone, because that's how quickly we lose our warm weather here in Buffalo. All I can hope for is another mild winter until I can talk Dan into moving somewhere south. So I used some cool grays to make some shadows on my ghost there. And then I used warm grays for the bunny's color itself. Now I ended up making 2 of those bunnies. I'm going to use one on another card, which I may or may not just show you at the end of this video. We'll see. And now I'm going to do some ink blending for a spooky purplish night sky. And I cut out a piece of Post-it, sticky Post-it, with the Hero Art Circle Infinity dies. Just the size I want that I thought would be good for a moon. And place that on my Bristol Smooth cardstock. And then I'm going in here with Pixie Dust, Royal Treatment, Grape Crush. And then I end up bringing in Queen for a Day because it wasn't dark enough for me. And this is actually the second panel. I will tell you while I'm ink blending that I did this panel once and I used a stencil for the trees instead of a die cut. And it just doesn't work well with the trees because when you use a stencil, like a tree stencil, it's like you get the negative. So I was getting the opposite effect of what I wanted, using a darker color on the stencil. Plus, when it came to the moon, the trees didn't look right covering the moon, so I decided to do it a different way. So it doesn't always work out. Sometimes you can get your idea to work, sometimes you can't. I got this idea to work, I just had to go with a different version. So now I'm going to use my Heavy Doodle Cloud stencil. I forgot what it's called, it'll be down below. And some Twilight ink by Catherine Pooler. I did pull in some Lawn Fawn Manatee ink, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I didn't really use it all that much. And just did some spooky gray clouds covering the moon. And then I went in with Juniper Mist all around the edges of the card panel and ended up going over most of the card panel itself with it because I just liked the look it was giving. So there I'm just showing you that I used the birch trees and the grassy border die, I think it's called, from Lawn Fawn. And that's what we're going to use to put our scene together. So I just cut out a bunch of those out of 100-pound cardstock, black cardstock, and glued those down. Most of them were glued flat to the cardstock. 2 of the birch trees were popped up with foam tape. And you will see that in a second. And then I glued the first layer of grass flat to the card base and popped up the second layer because having 2 of the trees popped up with foam tape meant that one of those layers of grass had to be popped up as well. And then we're going to use for this card just the cat and the dog hanging from the broomstick. And I will use more of those characters in an upcoming video. But for now, those are the 2 we're going to use. And that cat's got an evil little look on its face, like, ha ha ha, you look like you're going to fall. I just love those two characters. I did add a bit of Jelly Roll glitter pen to the broom base where all the straw goes into the broom. It just needed an added touch, and I thought it looked cute. I'm sorry, this heat is really like baking my throat, so now I'm trying not to talk too much. The cat's going to get glued flat to the card base with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. But the dog is partially popped up with foam tape because his broom hangs along those two popped up trees. So I just measured out with my eye where the foam tape should go by placing it on the card panel a couple times, and then just put glue on the two small spots that were going to be on top of the birch trees. And that's just going to go on a gray mat of cardstock, real thin cardstock. It's that stuff I bought off of Amazon. And then that will all go onto a black card base. Now we're going to stamp out our sentiment. I used a Neat and Tangled skinny strip die for my sentiment strip, and we're using some Wow Superfine opaque white embossing powder. That one has a long name. I always forget how it goes. And we're just stamping out Happy Halloween. Heat emboss that, and we're going to pop it up with some foam tape. Same thing as with the broomstick, Needs tape in some spots, but not in others. And that's it for this video, guys. I will be announcing the winners in one of the next two videos coming up from June and July's giveaways. And we'll do August soon. Don't forget to visit Jamie's shop, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.